Jeremy Clarkson mocks co-star Kaleb Cooper in 7-word speech that sends him running. Kaleb Cooper flees the farm after fight with Jeremy Clarkson. Sparks fly when Jeremy Clarkson and Kaleb Cooper get together, and it makes for electrifying viewing for fans of Clarkson's farm. The latest row between the pair took place after a spring cleaning session at the farmyard, leaving Jeremy furious. He's acting like a 7-year-old. He opened up in his latest Sunday Times column about how Kaleb, who recently left his Oxfordshire village in disgust, had fled with his family to the Yorkshire Dales to escape the row. Jeremy exclaimed, "Ask him to drop something off and he acts like a 7-year-old being told to tidy his room. He gets in his ugly van straight away. Tired of being a millionaire?" The host added, "He doesn't care about tidiness because it takes time and time is money." Jeremy Clarkson slams Kaleb Cooper for being immature. Jeremy's rant comes after it was revealed that Kaleb's company, Kaleb Cooper Productions, made a whopping profit of almost £1 million. He has always said he has two burning ambitions, to become a millionaire and to own his own farm, and one of those wishes has come true. When his TV earnings are added to the more modest earnings from his farming businesses, K. Cooper Contracts and K. Cooper Holdings, it comes to more than £1 million at the age of just 26. In another coup for the ambitious but fiercely ambitious star, he even entertained members of the royal family this year. August in the Cotswolds is always the busiest time of year for Kaleb Cooper, a young farmer with windblown curly hair and a sharp gaze that seems to distinguish weeds by the smell of the earth. Kaleb is driving his beloved John Deere combine, whirring through a field of barley. Suddenly, a crackle comes over the intercom. "Kaleb, stop, right now." It's Jeremy Clarkson, the owner of Diddley Squat Farm and the man who once said he would understand farming in 3 days. Kaleb sighs and hangs up. Jeremy appears in a plaid shirt, microphone in hand, standing on a small wooden platform as if preparing to give an election speech. "I can't believe it," Jeremy mutters. "We're shooting the harvest ceremony today. And you, Kaleb, are cutting the wrong way for the 4th time." Kaleb jumped off the combine, furious. "You're reaping the right way. You're the one who doesn't know the difference between barley and wheat." Jeremy smirked, then picked up the microphone. "Ladies and gentlemen, camera crew, production crew, audience. I have 7 words to describe Kaleb Cooper." Everyone held their breath. Jeremy took a deep breath and said loudly, each word distinctly. "A sheep could do it better." The field was silent. The cameras stopped. The sky was still blue, but inside Kaleb, a storm was brewing. His face was red. "A sheep? You just compared me to a sheep?" Kaleb turned and ran out of the field, leaving Jeremy bewildered, and a camera crew that didn't know whether to continue or laugh. The next day, Kaleb didn't come to the farm. There was no sound of a tractor. No one was complaining about the price of fertilizer. Only Jeremy, sitting in the Diddley Squat farm shop, was tapping his cold coffee. "Where is he?" Jeremy asked his girlfriend, Lisa. "I called him a sheep. In front of 15 people and 4 cameras. I'd run away if I were him." Jeremy winced, mumbled, "It was a joke, not when I'm the one being made fun of." Kaleb lives by honor. He loves his tractor more than anything. And more than that, he loves to feel respected. Jeremy was silent. He'd long since forgotten that young Kaleb had a heart uncorrupted by reality TV, and sometimes, words could destroy more than a lost crop. Nearly 3 hours south of Diddley Squat Farm is Lyme Regis, a small beach town where Kaleb used to vacation in high school. Kaleb is sitting on the beach, a beer in hand, watching the sunset. His old pickup truck is beside him. The innkeeper walks over. "Are you the Kaleb from Clarkson's farm?" Kaleb nods. "You're really good. Your husband and I love watching you argue with Jeremy. It's so real." Kaleb smiles sadly. "He just compared you to a sheep." The woman laughs. "Sheep are smart creatures. They know where the good pasture is. And you know when to back off. Not everyone can do that. Kaleb looks out to sea. The waves are still crashing. And for the first time in days, he feels at peace. 3 days later, as Kaleb was working on the carburetor on his car, a delivery man handed him a yellow envelope. There was no name, just a scribbled note. From the old Rude. Kaleb opened it. It was a handwritten letter, written in blue ink. Kaleb, I know I'm an idiot. And not the lovable kind. The kind that makes you want to punch me in the face. You're better than I thought. Not just because you know how to care for barley, but because you love it. I, on the other hand, love the sound of the engine, and sometimes forget about people. I said, a sheep does better than you. The truth is, without you, I don't have a farm. Go home. I don't know how to care for pigs. And the kale is dead. Kaleb folded the letter, smiling slightly. This old rude man sometimes knows how to apologize sincerely. Kaleb returned to Diddley Squat Farm at dusk. He didn't say anything. He just drove straight into the yard, where Jeremy was struggling to carry bags of slop that weighed twice as much as he could. You're back? Jeremy asked, putting the bags down, panting. Yeah. I'm going to see how that sheep is doing. Jeremy laughed, not retorting. He just shook his head and tossed Kaleb a pair of gloves. Today you're going to teach me how to reap without destroying the whole field. Kaleb took the gloves. On one condition, you keep your mouth shut for at least 10 minutes, 5 minutes. 7, deal, and they started over, as if those 7 harsh words had never happened. But now, there was an understanding, no words needed, just bending down to plant a row of carrots. 3 weeks after Kaleb's return, things seemed to be back on track. Jeremy was surprised to find himself missing Kaleb. Not because of the quips or the curly hair, but because Kaleb was the life of the farm. One morning, as Kaleb was inspecting the purple cabbage patch, he stopped, not because of the wind, but because of unusual markings on the leaves. Jeremy, come and look at this. Jeremy ran over, panting as usual. They're eaten. Kaleb pointed to the large holes in the leaves. No way. I sprayed them the other day. Kaleb bent down and turned over the underside of a cabbage leaf. A worm as big as a finger slithered lazily. Jeremy swallowed. Isn't that an African cutworm? That's it. Kaleb stood up. If we don't do this in 3 days, the whole cabbage patch is gone. Jeremy immediately suggested calling in a professional exterminator. Kaleb protested. This is sustainable farming, remember? Chemicals will kill earthworms. Jeremy sighed. So you want to call in a god? Kaleb was silent. Then his eyes lit up. I have someone. He got into his car and drove away. He returned that afternoon with a thin woman in her 60s, wearing a straw hat, who smelled like she had just stepped out of an ancient tea garden. This is Ruth, the bio-wizard, Kaleb said. Ruth said nothing, but handed Jeremy a small vial containing hundreds of tiny parasitic wasps. Throw these on the field. They'll kill the worms, naturally, quickly, and without chemicals. Jeremy eyed the vial with suspicion. This is like sending mercenaries into a football field. Kaleb laughed. As long as they don't kill the referee.